Hey guys, so it is take 2 of recording this video. I tried to do it before on my laptop, but that didn't work out too well. It decided that it was going to speed up the video and not put audio in. So I obviously need to work on my tech skills. So it's on my phone again. So welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, then welcome to my channel. My name is Mercedes, I am 17, and this channel is all about my pregnancy. So for those of you that saw the last two videos, the background did change. I'm at my dad's house now, so that is why that's different. But yeah, so this video is going to be about weeks 1 through 19 of my pregnancy. Kind of symptoms and stuff, what happened throughout that time of my pregnancy. Since I'm starting vlogging at week 20, I'm just kind of giving a broad spectrum update on what happened for the first half. I won't be going like week by week because that's a lot to go through, so I'm just kind of gonna give key points that happened in a certain week so that you're up to date. So yeah, let's get started. I found out that I was pregnant when I was like 4.5 weeks. I didn't really have any symptoms at first. The only indication that I had that I was pregnant was that I was late for my period. So I didn't have any nausea or anything, any bloating, nothing. I had no symptoms whatsoever in the beginning. Then at about 7 weeks I had bloating. Like to the point where it made me look like I was pregnant. Like you could see, and it was obviously that like you don't show that early unless you're having like twins or you've had previous pregnancies. It's just very uncommon that you'd be actually showing. It's more likely to be bloating at that point in pregnancy. But it was like over the top. My appetite increased a little bit, but at the same time I didn't really want to eat. Like I was hungry, but I didn't want to eat because I was sort of nauseous. But I didn't really get morning sickness in my pregnancy until later. So I was hungry, but nothing really sounded good, and I was getting a little bit nauseous, if that makes any sense. My boobs got sore, like maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks, until now, currently, still. And then the biggest thing probably in early pregnancy for me was I got really bad cramps. Like they were like period cramps. I get really, really bad period cramps when I'm menstruating, and like for the first day to 2 days of my period, I would get really bad cramps, like since I have had my period since I was like 12. And that's what it felt like for the first couple weeks after I found out, and still sometimes now. I get really bad cramps that feel like period cramps. And I was worried about it at the beginning because obviously I'd never been pregnant before. I didn't know if that was normal, so I asked my mom about it, and she said she never got it when she was pregnant, but I looked it up, and they said it was probably just like uterus stretching cramps, and they can feel very similar to period cramps. So we didn't go in or anything because I wasn't bleeding and I wasn't like doubled over in pain. I mean, it was painful, but I wasn't like unable to move, you know? And so we kind of looked past it and just brought it up at my OB appointment. Skipping forward to about 13 weeks, that's when morning sickness really started for me. I still didn't really get like sick, but I was like nauseous every day. I got sick maybe 3 times in my pregnancy total, so far at least, but I don't think I'm gonna get like morning sickness sick at all anymore. I would hope not. But around 13 weeks I started getting really, really nauseous. And maybe for a couple weeks I was like that, like every single day, most of the day I was nauseous and I didn't feel good and I didn't want to eat. And then around 18 weeks, no, 16 weeks, around 16 weeks. That subsided. I still get nauseous every once in a while, but not like to the point where I was before, where it was all day long every day. Now it's just occasionally here and there. I get nauseous and then I don't want to eat. So I was lucky that I didn't get like the all the time in the beginning puking every morning, or all throughout my pregnancy puking all the time, because I hear that a lot of people get that too. And for those of you that do, I'm sorry, that sounds terrible. Another big thing is tiredness. Like the first trimester, I was really, really, really tired, obviously. That's one of the biggest pregnancy symptoms. I just wanted to sleep all the time. I've never been one to take naps, but I was always like ready to nap. And like when I'm at home, I try not to, and my mom doesn't like when I take naps because then I won't fall asleep at night, but that wasn't a problem anymore. Like if I took a nap, I was still out by like 10. Now in my second trimester, I am tired all the time still. Like I hear that a lot of people that picks up and they get a lot of energy in their second trimester. I haven't found that. I'm tired all the time still. But I can't fall asleep until like 2 a.m. or later. Last night it was like 4. And then right now I don't start work until the 28th because I just got a new job. Because I left my old job in June. So right now it's kind of okay for me to like sleep in. But once I start my new job, I'm hoping I can fall asleep at a decent time, because if not, then I'm going to be really tired all day long, and I'll be working with kids because I got a job at a daycare, and that's going to suck. So that is like most of my earlier symptoms from pregnancy. I really haven't had that many, like for the most part, I don't feel any different than I did before, and I think I'm really lucky for that, because a lot of people say that they don't feel like themselves at all, or they feel terrible all the time. And I feel, besides the tiredness, I feel fine 90% of the time. Oh, and another thing, a lot of people, most people, I feel weird that I'm not in this little group, but most people, their boobs grow a lot in the beginning of their pregnancy. My boobs haven't been sore, but they haven't like grown almost at all. I went up a cup size, but it's like this cup size is too big for me. But my old one was too small for me, if that makes sense. So I'm like between, and it's awkward, so I didn't even grow a whole cup size. And I want to breastfeed, and I know that they say that it doesn't affect it, but I'm still scared that it will. Yeah. So that is pretty much the first half of my pregnancy as far as symptoms go. And then I did have one scare in the first half of my pregnancy. At 18 weeks, I was in the ER because I started getting really, really bad right side cramps at home, to the point I was doubled over. I was crying. I wasn't bleeding or anything, but like the severity of it and how fast it came on, my mom took me into the ER, and they did urine sample, blood sample, and then the nurse, the ER nurse, was doing the fetal heart rate, and she didn't find anything, but I don't think that's, I mean, obviously it's not because it wasn't there, because when I got an ultrasound later that night, everything was fine, baby's heart rate was fine. I just don't think the nurse knew, like, what she was doing, really. I don't think she works with, like, pregnancy much, and I mean, I know a lot of times in the ER they don't, because after 20 weeks, if you go to the ER, they send you right upstairs. So it's not very common for them to deal with pregnancy, but still, like, she should know how to use a fetal Doppler. She wasn't pressing at all. She just, like, placed it on my stomach. She didn't press on my stomach at all. So she didn't find anything, obviously, because she wasn't pressing down to actually get to where the baby is. So she was like worried about it, but me and mom like brushed it off because we knew that she wasn't doing it right. But then the ultrasound technician got there, the one that was on call. It was late at night, so we had to wait for her to get there. She did an ultrasound, the baby was fine, heart rate was fine, and then she looked at my appendix, which is fine, and my ovaries, and on my right ovary she did find a small cyst. which was probably causing the pain. Either that or it was really, really, really bad round ligament pain. But the doctor that I saw said that it's not very common for round ligament pain to be that severe to the point where I was like in tears and doubled over. So it was most likely the cyst, but it's so small and cysts on ovaries are so common that they're not overly worried about it. So I just have to keep getting it looked at every time that I have an ultrasound to make sure that it's not like growing too big, because obviously they can't do anything to remove it or anything while I'm pregnant because that would be a risk to the baby, but they do want to keep an eye on it. So that was my big scare in the first half of my pregnancy. But other than that, I've had a really simple pregnancy so far. I'm hoping the rest will be too, but I'm scared that means I'll have like a hard labor and delivery. But I guess we will see. Time will tell. So right after this video, I'm going to be making my 20-week update because today is the last day of me being 20 weeks. So I'll be doing that. And then both of these are going to be on YouTube tonight or tomorrow. I tried to upload 2 videos last night, and one of them took so long that it didn't get uploaded until like 7:30 today, 7:30 p.m. today. So today or tomorrow these videos will be up, and that is all I have. So I will be back in a few minutes. Bye guys.